Chukwu ka na-abata, bịakwute ya bịa zuru ike. Anya bịawa ịsọpụrụ gị ugbu a, bịakwute ya bịa zuru ike. Bịa o bịakwute ya, bịakwute ya, bịakwute ya bịa zuru ike. Bịa o bịakwute ya, bịa o bịakwute ya, bịakwute ya bịa zuru ike. Chukwu nna n'ụlọ gị ka na-akpọ gị, bịakwute ya bịa zuru ike. Otito na-adịrị gị.
Ndewonu. Ekelekwa m unu. I welcome you. It is my pleasure to welcome you to Libations. But before we start, I want to start with a prayer for healing for you. Today I pray for healing for you. I ask the ancestors to stand before you, above you, below you, beside you, and hold you close to their bosom until whatever is hurting you, whatever is trying to take you down, whatever is trying to get a hold of your life, releases you to your freedom. I pray for divine mind, Chineke, to step into the picture and clear the waterways, clear the cloudy skies, clear the rocky roads, and clear the obstacles standing in your way. Today, I ask for healing for your heart, for your mind, for your physical body, and all its vital organs. I ask that you understand that whatever has a hold of you right now, whatever is troubling you, is weakened by all the heavenly hosts around you. May all the challenges, all the obstacles be made temporary. You will move forward and learn how to weave and bob your way out of your challenges. I ask for divine mind to welcome you into her bosom of goodwill and protect you from the noise of the world. the noise of the world, and may all your spiritual disturbances lay waste in the fields. Starved of attention, because you will put in your heart the will to survive, the will to fight as hard as you can so as not to succumb to whatever is putting you in its mercy. Know that you have the power. Yes, you have the power. Know that this too shall pass, whatever the issues are. Know that you can withstand anything being thrown in your way, because right where you are, the greatest power, Chineke, is. Right where you are, the greatest power, Chineke, is. Right where you are, the greatest power, Chineke, is. The important thing is that you understand that to be the case. Often the reason why we get stuck is because we don't believe that we have the power to unstuck ourselves, if I may use that expression. I want you to understand that everything that is bothering you today is already done. It's already gone. You've already taken control. You're already in charge of your life. You know that this will pass, whatever that may be. That will pass. Know that you can withstand anything. And you know, sometimes people throw things. And the sad thing is that we stay there and we grab it. But not today, not anymore. May these words that I have shared with you remind you of how powerful you are. May the words that I've shared with you remind you that the spiritual disturbances are just temporary, that you can overcome whatever it is. I am offering this prayer to you today for you, to thank divine mind, divine Chineke, for this opportunity that we all have right now in this place that we call today. Let us be reminded that there's nothing that we can do. There's nothing that we cannot have if we believe that we can have it. My prayer to you is that you understand that you've got the power of Chineke, because Chineke's power, that makes you powerful. See, you are the temple of God. And as long as you are that temple, if God is powerful, that means you're powerful. If Chineke, whatever you call Chineke, Olodumare, Tamonaji, Amikatonda, Nyeminkosi, Uvuzilele, Moari, whatever those powers are, whatever the power, whatever the name you have, call upon Chineke today. Call upon the Creator in that name. I use Chineke. It's joy. I am joyful. Chineke is peace. I am peace-filled. Chineke is love. I am loving. Chineke is my truth. I am wrapped in Chineke's truth. And so are you. You are a manifestation of the divine. And that great power of Chineke is leading you right now, if you but believe it. That power of Chineke is in your body, and that takes care of any illness you may have. That power of Chineke is in your mind, and anything, any lies that you've been told, today Chineke is going to throw that away. That spirit, that energy called Chineke is the greatest spirit that you have. And it will always be there for you, for your renewal, for the reconnection necessary for you to understand that right where you are, Chineke is. That you have the power. That you have the power to withstand anything being thrown in your way. Because it is in this moment, right where you are, that is where Chineke is. That is our truth. That is our joy. We claim it as our divine inheritance. Perfect peace, only peace, be still, for only God is here. Okay, udo, so udo, no wayo, chuku no neba. Let every way of your life be light, and all your art be crowned with good. And may the world prosper by our ministry of love, our ministry of self-determination, our ministry of unity, our ministry of collective collective love, doing things together, and having faith in our own ancestors, that what they had, we too can have. That who they were in all of their glory, we can reenact in the present. May Chineke touch your heart, touch your mind, touch your lips so only truth shall come out of it. Touch your nose so you can continue to breathe in, inhale and exhale. Touch your ears so that you can hear the truth. All of these blessings are for us to have. There's nothing depriving us of anything except our understanding and belief that Chineke is in our corner. Welcome to Libations. Ekelekwa m unu. Ka ụbọchị unu niile bụrụ ihe. Ụzọ niile unu na-aga ka ọ bụrụ sọ mma. Unu gaa n'ihu ọ bụrụ mma. Unu gaa n'akụkụ ọ bụrụ mma. Unu laa azụ ọ bụrụ mma. Ihe ọbụla gbasara unu dị n'aka Chi. Chineke anụla ekpere a. Chineke anụla ekpere a. Unu anụla ekpere a. Ya gazienụ. Udo dịrị unu. Otu a ka o si dị. Ndewo. The prayer is a powerful prayer dedicated to you. I apologize for the technical difficulties. You know, anytime that you think you've got control of technology will let you know that you don't and surprise you. But nonetheless, I truly believe that you heard the bulk of my message to you, my prayer for you today. Today is we are in the month of Imuli, the masculine energy of Chineke. For those of you who don't know about African Igbo spirituality, Chi is the male energy, the masculine energy. Ike is the feminine energy. Today, we are celebrating, or rather this month, we're fully focused on the male, on the masculine energy of Chineke. Most of you have a different name for Chineke, and that's all right. It's one spirit, one divine mind. I don't care what you call. Olodumare, Tamona, Jinyami, Katonda. Beautiful names. Nyame, Nkosi, Uvuzilele, Ukulunkulu. It is today that we pour libations in honor of the Holy Spirit. And we also acknowledge our ancestors. Today we are going to have libations by a representative of the Ifa religion, Queen Mother Nana Oshundara. She's an Ifa priestess. She's going to pour libations today, as I will, representing Chiism. I will pour libations. We couldn't fit everybody in one show, so we're going to have another one where different spiritual organizations will be represented. But today it's Chiism and Ifa, because when all is said and done, are we the same? African people, we never quarreled about God. We saw Chineke in everything. And because of it, we don't fight. Because of our culture, we have a different name, but it's still the same thing. The same spirit, the Holy Spirit, the divine mind, the creator of everything, good, bad, or indifferent. So we're going to pour libations. But there are three kinds of libations that we're going to introduce today. In most African countries, there are different ways, but I think it's important to know, however, that libations didn't just start in Africa. Africa is not the only people who pour libations. They pour in India, in China, even in Christianity. All religions pour libations in honor of their ancestors, in honor of the Most High. So libations is nothing new. Libations is nothing that you should be afraid of. Everybody else is doing it. Everybody else is honoring their ancestors. For your own dignity, you must do the same, because you are a reflection of the ancestors. When you choose not to do that, you don't recognize who you are. When we pour libations, we use different items, and I'll get to that when I get to pouring libations. There are three types of libations. One is the chalk paste, and I'll introduce that to you right now. The chalk. Hello, Ndewo. I want to introduce to you an African spiritual tradition. Most homes that we go to, we are introduced to the chalk paste. We call it okwa nzu, chalk paste. It is our way of welcoming people into our space, our homes. Traditionally, when somebody comes into your home, we present them with this charger. This is called the charger, or okwa, and the chalk inside is called nzu. Nzu. Nzu is kaolin. It's dug up from the ground. It's white in color. It has medicinal purposes as well. When a woman, for instance, is pregnant and is nauseated, they ground some of these and make her eat it. And it calms her stomach and stops the nausea. Also, when a baby is born, this is mashed and a little water is added to it, and it's used to decorate the baby's body. It's also used to welcome people into our space. And how that works is, suppose you come to my home, I will present you with this kaolin. And what you do is you use your right middle finger and you smear it on your left wrist, And the significance of that is that it means that you are welcome into my home. If I don't present that to you, you're not welcome. We don't have to have an argument about it. You're just not welcome. But traditionally, this is how we welcome people into our homes. Spiritually, we also use it and pass it to all the people in the Obasioha. Obasioha is what we call the church, or the shrine, if you will. And everybody takes a bit of this, smears it on their left wrist. And the significance of the left wrist is that it's close to your heart. It's on the same side of your heart, rather. And that means that once you're in my home, you have become a part of my community. My home is my community. You have become a part of my home, my personal community. And anything concerning you is my responsibility. Your well-being is my responsibility. So today I welcome you to this libations. It's a part of libations. It's a form of libations. And together we are going to welcome the ancestors into our space. I welcome you into my space. Because you can't see it, I will do it for you. You are welcome to be in my space, in my personal community. We welcome Chineke. We welcome all of the ancestors. We welcome Chineke in whatever name you have. I understand some people call Chineke Olodumare. Tamuna Jinya Mikatonda Nyemi Nkosi Mwari Uvuzilele Ukulumkulu. There's so many beautiful names that we have for the Creator. In that name, I welcome all of you. Thank you for joining us. Let all your path be light. As you have come and shared the chalk with me, may everything you touch on your way out today, wherever you may go, may it all turn to gold. May all your wishes come true. And I see you, I hope you see me the next time we meet again. Ndewo, Yagazie, and Ofo. Well, some of you practice that at home already if you're from Nigeria. And if you don't know, well, it's good to learn. And that's the thing, the beauty of African spirituality. There's so much to learn. It's quite simple, really. It's not complicated. It's just a matter of us looking at it and seeing what good we can take from it. Every spiritual organization, every spiritual order, however you want to phrase that, have a connection to the spirit. It's that connection that empowers you, because to be connected to your ancestors, to be connected to the Most High, to the divine mind, is to gain power. Not that you don't already have it, but every time that you call upon the spirits, upon the Creator, the ancestors, you are doubling up on your power. That is why, quite frankly, when you go to an Igbo home, they offer you that. Because the same power they want for themselves, they want for you. Now we have kola nut. And to break the kola nut for us today is Dibia Ochwaja, Yudi Onyoha.
Welcome. Anya Biala. I am here to break the kola nut. And in Igbo cosmogony, we believe that the first tree that Chineke created, God, if you don't know, was the kola nut tree. And that the fruits, the kola nut fruit that comes from this tree is very, very sacred. It has a lot of spiritual significance. But one of the most spiritually significant aspect of the kola nut is the fact that when you visit somebody in their house, or you're a welcome guest in the village, wherever you come to as a guest, and also in a circle of supplication to the Almighty Chineke, the kola nut is presented. And the kola nut is presented in Igbo language, because that is the only way to present the kola nut, where the ancestors and Chineke will partake in it. Ojarianu Beke, which means the kola nut does not understand English. It's part of who we are. It's what we do as Igbo people spiritually. And this is Oji Igbo. Life is a circle. It's a circle between those that are waiting to be born, those that are already here, and those that have left us to join the ancestors. So for us in Africa, in Igbo culture, life is just a circle of going and coming back into life, going and coming back into life. Life is about reincarnation. Another significant part of Oji is for protection. When somebody comes to visit you, or is in your place of worship, or somebody comes into the community, it is understood that when you break kola nut with your guest, or with those people that are gathered, for as long as they are under your roof, they are under your protection. And when you break kola nut with somebody, you can never, ever think of hurting them. or doing anything that will upset them or upset their lives. This is a covenant between the ancestors, Chineke, your guest, and yourself. So ndị be anyị, ọjị abịala nọ. A sị na onye wetara ọjị nọ ndụ bụ ihe o wetara. Anyị na-ekpe ekpere na-ayọ Chineke, na-eloro anya ndị ichie, ndị nwụrụ anwụ, ndị hapụrụ anyị, ancestors anyị, si unu bịa tara ọjị. Unu bịa ka anyị gbaa ndụ ọfọ. Ebeberu ugeberu nke si ibe ebela nku gwakwa ya. Lega ji obiọma bịa ebe a, obiọma bụ ife anyị ejela. Ọ bere gbu mgbu onwe ya. Obiọma m ji bịa, obiọma ihe eji gbala. Ọ kparịghị akpọ anyị, ife ọbụla metụrụ aka, ọ hagara anyị ọgụ nzu. Ndị nna nna anyị, ọmụmụ Chineke, ọmụmụ arụ isi ike, ogologo ndụ, ife anyị eji ịzụ ụmụ, ife anyị na-arịọ, tunu meere anyị, tunu dabasa bịa nọnyere anyị, meere anyị, gbaa nzukọ. Ọnọfịa n'ụzọ ka ọ dịrị ya mma. Ife ọbụla anyị chọrọ n'ụwa, biko Chineke meere anyị ya. Gọzie ụwa a, gwofu ife ọjọọ nọ na ndụ anyị, ma ife omeghe anyị tọọma, ma omeghe anyị, ma onwe ife ọjọọ na-abịanụ. Chineke biko gwopụ ya n'ụzọ. Ife ọjọọ nọ n'elu, nọrọ n'ala, nọrọ na nka nri, nọrọ n'aka ekpe, nọrọ anyị n'ifu, nọrọ anyị n'azụ. Chineke biko gwopụ ya ụzọ anyị dị mma. Ife ọbụla kpatụrụ aka ha gakwara anyị nke ọma. Ọfọ 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 ya gazie. Ise 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 ọfọ ọfọ ya gazie. Ise 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 ọfọ ọfọ ya gazie. Ise ise ise. Ọjị ugo ndị nna nna anyị ụtara ọjị. Ọjị ọnwa bụ nke gị Chineke, ọjị a bụ nke gị. Ndị nwụrụ anwụ, nke a bụ nke unu leruo anya. Nnọọ ebe ọbụla ị nọ, leruo anya. Aha ebe ọbụla ị nọ, leruo anya. Aki ebe ọbụla ị nọ, leruo anya. Ụzọ ebe ọbụla ị nọ, leruo anya. Ise ya gazie. Kawo.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. As we continue our libation ceremony, I would like to present the Chiist libations, after which we will have libations from Queen Mother Oshundara. Queen Mother Oshundara is an Ifa priestess, very well-known priestess in the city of Detroit, Michigan. It is an honor for her to represent the Ifa religion today. But before I bring her on, I am going to pour libations the Igbo way. But I want to let you know certain things that we use. It's imperative to know that, as I indicated earlier, it's not just Igbos that pour libations. It's not just Africans, actually. Before you pour libations, you want to make some kind of noise to alert the ancestors that you are ready for them to make their entrance. So you can use whatever you want. It could be a shekeri, you call it shekeri. It could be a bell. It could be whatever you're comfortable using, but something that makes noise so that you wake the ancestors. Let the spirit of the ancestors know that you're ready. Now, some people pour libations using a plant. It could be a small plant. Some people use a receptacle. I'm going to use a receptacle, but let me tell you why. When I use a receptacle, I use water. Water, 95% of the body is water. So water is sacred. So when I use that water and pour it in this container, I'm going to use it afterwards and sprinkle it all around. Sprinkle it on myself and sprinkle it around. Because when you sprinkle it around, the water has energy that removes all the negative energies. The cooling effect removes all the negative energies from your space. You can sprinkle it all around the house. You can also use it and pour it in a plant. Because once you pray and honor the ancestors with that water, it becomes sacred to us. It becomes sacred. And so I am going to, and then as I indicated, I would use water. I'm going to use water to pour libations. I prefer water, really, because of the importance and significance. But again, it's not the only thing you can use. Some people use spirits. Some people use spirits, alcohol. And so it's called spirit, for the spirits. And some people use that and pour it in a cup. And it's poured on the floor or take a sip of it. Also, some people use honey, particularly in India, called ghee. They use honey. And some people use rice. So it's important to know that this is a practice all over the world. And some people using different things. But the important thing is to be able to pour something on the floor for the ancestors. And like I said earlier, when you pour anything, when you offer the ancestors anything, what you're doing in effect is you're increasing your power. You're increasing your power. So now I'm going to get started. I'm going to have just a little drumming on the side. You know, I've used the shekeri, but I'm going to just have a little drumming on the side. I have a little help here. It's not going to be very loud, but we're going to get started. Ise. You're going to notice when I pour libations, I say either Ise or I say Ashe. In the Far religion, spirituality, actually, they say Ashe. And there's some people say Aju. We say Ise. And it goes on and on and on. So I pour libations today using water, as I indicated earlier. And I pour libations in honor of the Creator, Chineke. Chineke that has so many different names. Chineke, Okaka, Ise. Wherever you are, say Ise. Ayana Pinile, Ise. Ebele Fenelu, Ise. Oria Kumpurodu, Ise. Onene Ndobe, Nuri, Ise. Okosisi na nyando. Ikuku na nyando, Ise. Dike na Gondoria, Ise. I pour libations to the four winds. The winds in the east, north, south, west, Ise. We pour libations to the ancestors. The ancestors that have made it to the age of 80. We realize to be an ancestor is an honor. You have got to have gone through 7 times to clean your soul before you're able to make it to the ancestral world. And if you have made it past age 80, then we can call your name as we pour libations. When we pour libations, we don't call the names of children because they're still on that journey. We don't call the names of people who have not made it to 80. because they're still on the journey. And so I pour libations today, and I remember my ancestor, Ahanke Okeonyo, the founder of Chiism, Godianism. I pour libations today in honor of my mother, the matron of Chiism, who has left this earth recently, who is now an ancestor, Ise. I pour libations to the great-grandmothers and the great-grandfathers, and we thank them for their wisdom that are still accessible to us through the power of our spirit. We call libations to remind them to continue to give us the wisdom necessary as we continue to go through this thing called life, this experiment called life, he said. I pour libations to each and every one of you and call upon your spirit to join mine as we continue to fight for our collective growth, he said. I ask you to join me for us to fight for our collective wealth, he said. I ask your spirit to join mine as we continue to work to understand what our role is in making African people greater, to reenact our glorious past in the present spiritually. We pour libations and ask all of their own riches. We pour libations and call all the awusi, all the graces of Chineke, used to help us. Just like everybody else have their angels, we have our awusi. I call upon the spirit of Madioha, he said. Kamalo, he said. Imomiri, he said. Ekurochi, he said. Allah, he said. Jacob, he said. Wherever you are, I hope you said, he said, with me. That means you concur. That means you want the powers that we're asking for today through our ancestors, through all the graces that Chineke uses to help us. Now, I ask you, wherever you are, to call upon the spirit of your own personal ancestors. Call them out, call their names. You see, I'm assuming that you're calling them out, because when you don't, that means they didn't exist. When you don't, that means you don't exist. So it is my hope that you're calling their name, and together, collectively, as their names are put out there in the universe, I say, on your behalf. And I want you to call your own personal names, because someday we anticipate that you are going to become an ancestor. So put that into the universe so that one day you will hit the age of 80 minimum, so that you don't have to continue the journey. That means you make your rounds, he say. And I sing this song as a reminder that when we pour libations, then we have to back off. We have to make room for the blessings we asked for to become a reality. Ogenke Chineke kama chere ya nụ ma bụrụ na oge ahụ dị anya chere ya ekwedula n'uko obi gị daa mba chere ya nụ mgbe oge ruru ọ ga-abịa kwa chere ya Chukwu nke igwe na-echeta gị chere ya ọ dịghị mgbe ọ na-echefu gị chere ya n'ezie n'ihe banyere gị ha niile na-emetụ Chineke n'obi chere oge ya ọ ga-adịrị anyị mma n'ụtụtụ. All will be well for us in the morning. And I'm going to ask my co-host to join me as we do this part. Ọ ga-adịrị anyị mma yudi n'ụtụtụ ise ọ ga-adịrị anyị mma n'okere ise ọ ga-adịrị anyị mma n'anyasị ise ọ bụla anyị kpatụrụ aka ọ ha ga ogunzu ise onye na-adịghị eme ma Chineke si anyị dị mma ise onye bịara ụlọ anyị ma ọ bịa gbutukwa anyị ife ọma ka ọ ha afụ ndị asị ndị ichie anyị ekpele anyị arụọla unu. We have prayed, we've asked for what we want, what we need. Now we're going to step back and allow you to make it a reality. Chineke anyị kele dịrị gị. And so it is. But before we leave, we want to honor a very special ancestor before I bring Queen Mother Oshundara forward. Noha Ngozi Onyoha, who has left this earth. She's an ancestor now. And so she's gone, but she's here with us. She's here with us. She's here. That is Queen Mother. She, I believe that when she arrived into the ancestral world, there was a big Mardi Gras. Yes. Knowing her, she didn't go walking quietly. She said, I'm here. Yes. Yes, the drums. Ikoro was beating when she showed up. I know. That's the kind of person she is. True. That's the kind of person she is. Full of life. And 91 years old, she's an ancestor.
She's an ancestor. It's time to celebrate her.
Yes.
She made it into the ancestral world, and they were waiting on her and welcomed her with open arms.
Yes.
Because she qualified.
Yes. She qualified to be an
qualified candidate.
Yes. Yes. He said.
Made it.
And now it is my pleasure to bring forward Queen Mother Oshundara. I just love this woman to death. My parents knew her, and whenever we came to Michigan, she was always hosting my dad. My dad traveled all over the world to spread Chiism. And Queen Mother Oshundara, in her noble ways, always found the time to invite him and cook those very delicious and healthy food for him to eat, for us to eat. She's known all over Michigan because she is a noble woman. And it is my pleasure to bring her in. But before I do that, let me sprinkle the water on myself and around, and I'm taking the rest of it home, upstairs, all over, to cool my home and eliminate everything that means me any ill will be dissolved, because the ancestors were here today. And so she could not be with us physically because she is in California, and which is obviously, that's the way things are these days anyway. We're all on Zoom and what have you. But she made this really very special libations video.
Many times in Africa, West Africa, they use cola. They say, he who brings cola brings long life. So we want to honor our great spirits, our great ancestors. The sky take cola, we say Ashe. The mountains take cola, we say Ashe. The rivers take cola, we say Ashe. The ancestors and our great mother Asesipa, known as many times Ia, a Mother Earth, take Kola. We say Ashe. When you use Kola, it's very important. In our traditions, many of the ancestors, in Ghana, they use what is called snaps. They use the alcohol because it was only done to call on the spirits. That's why it's called spirits. Iba Orisha, Ashe o, Iba ancestors, Ashe, Modupio, 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 Insa. We know that there are so many of our ancestors. There were millions. We know that this institution is our place of giving honor to those who have paid their dues. I call on the spirit of Empress Tanakatula, who was the empress of this land in which we now stand. Empress Tanakatula, we say Ashe. Empress here, Augustus Elbe, Ashe. To the Honorable Noble Drew Ali, we say Ashe. We say Ashe. To the Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey, the father of African liberation, we say Ashe. We say Ashe to Marcus Messiah Garvey Jr., who just recently became an ancestor to Marcus Messiah Garvey Jr. We say Ashe. We say Ashe to Empress, or sometimes they say Queen Khalifa, who was the queen of this land, which we call Amexem, all the way to Venezuela, California. We say Ashe. We call upon the spirit and the blessings of Tutagmosis, Ashe. We call upon Pharaoh Akhenaten, Ashe. To all those great ones, Queen Nefertiti, Queen Nefertari, we call upon the spirit and the blessings of our royal prince, Malcolm X, Malik El-Haj Shabazz. We say Ashe. We call upon the spirit of Nana Kwame Atta. We say Ashe. We know that this is the ancient land of our ancestors, which is West Amexem, which has been here for over 5,000 years BC. We know that millions of our ancestors, we're standing on the bosom of them. So please participate. Call out the ancestors. Call out the ancestors. Ashe. 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 King Sunyata Keite. Ashe. 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 We know, as I said to you before, it would take 7 days and then some to call out all the names of all of our ancestors. To all of those whose names we have not spoken today, may they not be offended, because we know when we look in the mirror, we will see the ancestors We know each time and every time a new birth is taking place in our community, that our ancestors are coming back through the unborn children. May our children and our children's children's children long live their spirits. So to those whose names we have not spoken, to those of whom we have not forgotten, may all their spirits come. May we all give honor to all of those great spirits whose names we have not called. We say, Ashe! Ashe! Ashe!
Yes, Queen Mother Oshundara, Ashe. He said, oh, so it is. How wonderful was that?
That was
Rudy,
great.
how wonderful. I tell you, when you feel empowered and you can reach back to mother and your father, your ancestors, there's no power greater than that. And you just want to scream, yes, I'm here. I'm here. Thank you for giving me those sacred ancestors for me to be a part of that. We must honor our ancestors. We must get in the habit. If you're not doing libations, start it. It's sacred. It's part of, as I indicated earlier, when you pour libations, what you're doing in effect is you're increasing your power. You notice the crescendo. She kept saying, Ashe. When you say he said, that means you concur. That means you're prepared. You're prepared to be and to receive. Am I telling you?
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, ancestral reverence is your footprint. You know, when you walk, you leave prints.
Yes.
If you don't have any print, you're dead.
Yes.
You're not alive. You're not human. You're not there. And
Yes.
yet you look in the mirror and you see yourself here.
Yes. That is.
Our ancestors tell our story.
That's correct.
They are our anchor.
Yes.
They let us know where we've been.
Yes.
And for us to understand where we are now.
Yeah.
And where we're headed. Without your ancestors, you have no spiritual history.
That's right.
You have no history at all. Every nation in the world.
What's important, Yuji, you want to add to what you're saying.
Yeah.
You cannot get respect from anyone.
Yeah.
When you don't respect yourself, and to honor our ancestors. And the sad part of it, let's be honest about this. The sad part of it is when people are talking about ancestors, they have a negative connotation. Yet, ancestry is not ancestral worship. It's honoring. As a matter of fact, you're honoring yourself. When you honor your ancestors, you're honoring yourself. When you don't honor them, you can't expect to be honored. That you say something to people when you want to honor somebody else, but you don't want to honor yourself. I have a video now, Yudi, you and I are going to talk about. And it is from what we call, well, you are aware of it, Chiism on the beat. Yeah. And what we do is we send our representative in Nigeria to go into the community and find out what are people thinking, because our spirituality has been so disintegrated that you still wonder, what are the people, what is the common man thinking about? So I want to share this video of a young man that was interviewed, and he's speaking in Igbo. So afterwards, for those who don't understand Igbo, afterwards you and I will discuss what he's saying. So, but I'll bring him in and put you to the side, both of us to the side, so that we can watch.
Ndị Igbo na-eme dịka temple na-enwere okwukwe ọha ma ọwụ grish ihe ji na-ewu ụzọ ha abụọ ahụ dịka ebe temple na-adịkarị nwụrụ ya ihe awụ oshi abụọ na-anwụ ọsịsọ mana ọkọchị mana ụdị mmiri ọ na-adị nke ọzọ ọ na-enwe ahịa na-ahụ onwe ya ma ọnwụ na ihe ọma ma ọnwụ chọrọ ịga ahịa dịka ụta anyị nọkọta anyị chọrọ ikpe ekpere mgbe anyị chọrọ ịga njem anyị rụọ Chineke nọ ndị mgbe anyị kpee ekpere mgbe ndị ọcha na-adabeghị nne na nna ya na-aga n'azụ ụlọ ha nwere ike were ọkụkọ gaa n'ukwu ha ahụ ọnụbishi ahụ fụọ ya ma wepụ ọbara ya kelee ya ma arụghị maka nchekwa na-akpọ eze chukwu ka eluigwe n'ụwa eze chukwu abịa ma onye bi n'eluigwe na anyị na-arụ ihe dị ụtọ anyị na-arụ dị ụtọ ụtọ wee etu esi na-ekpe nke ọzọ bụ na ha na-emekwa ihe ọjọọ ịchọkwa ime mmadụ ihe ọjọọ ọkwa ebe a ka anyị ga-aja a na-akpọ ya dịka iji ogu ma iji ọfọ ọnwụ Igbo a ga-asị na hiwere baịbụl mana Afrịka ebiwala ogu tupu ndị ọcha abịa nke ọzọ wụrụ ihe o ji uwe nkwekọ na ụdị ụtọ awụ n'oge ụmụ Israelite mgbe Chineke gwara Moses na ọ họpụta Erọn maka ịbụ ndị ga-asụrụ ya aja n'ụlọ ukwu ya ọ kwachiri ema ahụ ka Moses hiwere n'ụlọ ukwu Chineke na Jerusalem iji gosi ma Chineke ọ nara ya ọ gwara Erọn na o gbuo ehi were abụba ya nọbara ya fesa ya na tempụl ebe ahụ mgbe e fesara ya Chineke si n'ebe ọkụ shiri biri aja gosi na ebe a ka tempụl ahụ dị so ọtụ ebe ndị esi ekpekọ okwe mgbe ahụ na-enwe ụgha ma ogrish ndị nwekwe na ndịkwa ihe nwere ike ịrụ ya ntakịrị ụlọ kpoghachiri ya ma iji gosi na otu esi ekpere Chukwu ha na-akpọ Chineke nke ekerigwe n'ụwa ekwe Chineke ekerigwe n'ụwa n'ọnwa Chineke ka akpọkọ ugbu a ọta ka esi na-eme ọkwa na amụkwa nwa a na-ewerekwa ihe dịka nzu nwa na ihe ụfọdụ gakwa ebe ahụ kpọsakwa kpọkwa ya ma ugbu a na-emezi amụ nwa kpere gakwa na chọọchị otu ọkụkọ ahụ na ji ahụ eji agakwa mgbe ahụ enye fada enye ụkọchukwu enye pastọ nkwa ihe ma nke o ji chere mgbe ahụ enwere ike fesa ọbara ya ha bịa ha ewu erie ya mana ugbu a ị ga-eburu ọkụkọ bụrụ oje gaa na chọọchị ụkọchukwu erie fada erie ma nke mbụ ka mma n'ihi na gị na-eri onye a na-eri ihe na-agaji agaji nke ọzọ bụ na ọ bụ na mmadụ meghị ihe ọjọọ anyị na-nwere ike ịrịọ Chineke biko ya lọtara ya ụtọ ka ndị Afrịka si emekwa ha agakwa na ebe ha riwere ochi ahụ si biko na Chukwu ha kpọọ chi dị iche iche na-enyere ha aka iji mee ihe atụ ugbu a anyị na-akpọ Chineke Abraham Chineke Isaac Chineke Jacob mana mgbe ọ bụrụ na ịkpọ ndị nwụrụ anwụ agwa iji ga-akpọ ndị nwụrụ anwụ ma anyị mara Jacob na Isaac adịghị ha ndụ ugbu a mana ha mere na ha nwere okwu n'ebe Chineke nọ ọ bụ ọhịa ji nwee ihe nlereanya ndị mbụ na-eme ya eme mgbe ahụ ha na-akpọ ras gbọ ihe dị ụtọ n'ihi na ha ma ihe ga-enyere ha ka kpọtụ iji ime ihe nne nke kacha wụ ha na-akpọ Chineke nke ike eluigwe n'ụwa eze Chukwu abịa ma gosi na ha na-akpọ ya ụta ka esi na-ekpere okpechi nke ha mgbe ahụ oge erukwa ha gakwa mgbe akpa ekpere ebe ahụ mekwa nye onyinye nke ha ebe ahụ ụta ya ụta Afrịka si na-ekpe okpe nke ebe m si.
Thank you very much.
Well,
I couldn't have put it any better myself.
I want to thank Charles Moke. He's doing a marvelous job. We have so many beautiful videos that we're going from anytime that we host the libation ceremony. So explain to our audience what this gentleman was saying.
Yeah, the crux of the whole story was that we had our own way of supplication to God, to Chineke, before the Bible and the Quran came to our shores. The exercises, some of the exercises that you see in the Bible in terms of sacrifices, right, that you see in the Bible, we used to do the same thing. So there is nothing that was brought to us in terms of how supplication to Chineke happens that we didn't already have. Also, he talked about the fact that every household had its own personal shrine, usually behind the house, where they would go in there. If you needed to pray about something, you took a sacrifice like a chicken, you know, and you killed it there, spilled the blood, and then you went and ate the chicken, right? For a lot of people, killing the chicken to them is going to look like something that is a fetish. But then you could juxtapose eating Kentucky Fried Chicken, because that chicken is also killed. It's just, how do you kill the chicken? Did you wait for them to kill the chicken in the factory and then bring it to Kentucky Fried Chicken, fry it up so you could eat it? Is that different from you going behind the house and killing your own chicken and eating it and offering a sacrifice to Chineke? Because
it's a blessing to have that food.
To have that food.
It is.
You have to kill that chicken, but you just don't go kill the chicken. You kill the chicken in front of your personal place of worship, right?
That's right.
You give thanks. This same practice now that we used to do behind the house, kill the chicken, fry the chicken, eat it, and give
It was
thanks.
healthier. It was healthier.
It was healthier. It was kosher. It was kosher. It was healthier, right? Some people are going to say, oh, you killed the chicken. Well, a lot of meat that we eat is killed anyway. What's the difference if you killed it when it's more kosher, healthy chicken that fed naturally, or the one that was, you know, raised in the farm with chemicals and feed, and then they slaughter those chickens in the most inhumane way. You end up eating it as a chicken sandwich on your hamburger, and then think that you're doing something that it's so modern. But anyway, he also talked about the fact that this same chicken in today's Africa is now taken to the church and given to the preacher, where they kill the chicken and then feed the preacher. As opposed to when you kill the chicken, you fed your family in your place, giving thanks to Chineke for the abundance of food that you have. He also talked about the fact that we knew God, Chukwu Obioma, Chidiebere, Onye kere elu ụwa, Onye kere ụwa, ka eluigwe, the heavens and earth. It is no different from any other religion that believes in a creator. There's only one God. God in so many languages. Kamuna, Chineke, Yahweh, Olodumare, Nkulu, Ubangiji, so on and so forth. It's the same God. We all don't speak English. It doesn't have to be called God. It doesn't have to be called Allah only because we all don't speak Arabic. There's only one creator. And those cultures that believe that there's only one creator are talking about the same creator that the African is talking about. All you have to do is do a comparative analysis of the practices of other cultures and the practices that you in African culture, you know, is involved in, and you'll find out that as far as the totality of our belief system is concerned, there is no difference. Where we differ is in the processes. How do you get to God? That's where the argument comes in.
That's right.
In African culture, your relationship with Chineke is personal. It's a direct relationship. There is no middleman.
And no, not only there's no middleman, but there's an African proverb. Eba ka koronyan pumpuyo koeka. Eba ka uru. Wherever you are, you can function right where you are with what you have. So if you don't have a grand church, it doesn't mean that Chineke is not there. It is wherever you give supplication, that is where you meet the Creator. You're not depriving Chineke anything or yourself anything if you do what you do with what you've got and from where you are. Because
absolutely.
We are the temples. We believe that we are the temples of Chineke. And one of the most difficult things for a lot of individuals in communities that are poor is not seeing that connection, because they see Chineke from a perspective of grandiosity, you know, the big temples, the big churches. So, but they don't see that right where they are, like we always say, Ebamno. You know?
Chineke,
yeah, we are mobile. Somebody just said, we are mobile church. We are mobile church. We are working churches. You know?
Yeah, it is said, as you just rightfully mentioned, right? The greatest prayer is the one that is prayed in private.
Yes, correct.
Before the Europeans came and the Arabs came, the same people that are poor that you were talking about prayed to Chineke without any vision of grandiosity. That's Chineke was right there. Right. And as a matter of fact, in their condition, they didn't consider themselves poor. You know, it's a relative term. Based on what? What are you comparing being poor to?
That's right.
Somebody who goes to the farm, who has land, tills that land, which produces food that sustains the man, the woman, and their family, is not poor. If you look at it in modern terms, because they don't have a car, they don't live in a 4-bedroom home, you may consider them poor. But before a bastardized economic modernity, those people didn't consider themselves poor. The only reason why poor folks, supposedly poor people today, think of themselves as having this bridge between them and the Almighty God is because they were socialized into Christianism and Islam, where it is stressed that you have to go to this grandiose place to pray so that your prayer could be heard. When your great-grandmother told your grandmother and your grandmother told your mother, and then your mother passed the same way of thinking to you, it's almost like walking around in the desert and waiting for rain. We have been redefined. Our understanding of the Almighty is no longer from our own prism, from our own cultural perspective, from the footprints that our ancestors left us. We now look at God from the footprints that the ancestors of those people that continue to take away our freedom gave us. Ancestral reverence is universal. Every religion does it. Every spiritual school of thought does it. As the gentleman mentioned in the video, Abraham is an ancestor for the Hebrews. So is Moses.
That's right.
Hussein Muhammad is an ancestor to the Arabs.
Look at what we got here. This is from Obionyoha, Adonha. It was also, libations was also a form of communication or communion with one's God, much the same as the ancient Romans created blood bonds with their gods or blood brothers by slashing their palms and dripping blood onto their altars.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, symbolically speaking, if you're a Catholic and you go to church, one of the ways to show that you have been born again or that you accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior was to drink, symbolically, drink the
blood. I think that's
and eat the flesh. It's symbolic because he spilled blood for supposedly to wash away our sins, even though people are sinning every day, killing and murdering and stealing. Nothing has changed since the sacrifice was made 2,000 years ago. But symbolically, they cannot excuse their practice or distinguish it from what other cultures do in terms of human sacrifice. In Christianity, it was a human sacrifice. God actually sacrificed a human being. But if I kill a chicken behind my house, people accuse me of witchcraft and wizardry. But biblically speaking, God spilled the blood of his son. Now, which is a greater sin?
And we're going to hold that thought because we're going to continue this. We have, it's every last Sunday of the month, we have libations. And next one is going to be the end of March. And we're going to have another spiritual organization to be represented. Thank you all. Uchaja, first of all, thank you very much. The time is against us now, but you're going to pick up on this topic again. Again. But I want to thank all of you. I want to thank Adoha Obionyoha. She says that the Africans, on the other hand, only spilled blood in communion with the chicken they were going to eat anyway. Think about that. That is true.
That is true.
Yes. So I appreciate that contribution. Thank you, Kuna Charles. Thank you, Nosferatu. Thank you, Martin Lewis. Thank you, let's see, Abantum, Uwa Abantum. Thank you, Queen Mother Oshundara, for that spirited libations. And thank you, Evie Bagley, for joining us. Thank you, everyone. And I look forward to all you coming back next time when we have another libation ceremony. Remember that your ancestors are only active as long as you call their names. So when you get home today, make noise for the ancestors. Call upon them in your time of need. They hear you, they listen, but they're dormant if you're not calling them. I believe that my mother, who has just gone on, is standing right here I don't know about you, but I know she's sitting right here.
You're sitting right here too.
Yeah, I mean, I saw something today. We'll talk about that later. But I just know that she's letting us know, okay, I'm good, I'm free, but I'm watching you.
Yes.
I'm watching you. I haven't gone anywhere, just so you
Yeah.
know. So thank you all. Kachifonu.
Agazie. Yes.
Yagazie. Whatever you look for, whatever you ask for, may you get it 10 times fold. And so it is. Yagazie.
Agazie.
And you know what? Before we go, I just want to apologize for the choppiness. That's technology. There's nothing I can do about that. But we'll keep working on it. See you later.